Hi, welcome to my house of tiny pets. My name is Ellen. Today's video is going to be a little bit of background about how we got into our house of tiny pets, how our family evolved into having all of our small animals. My husband and I have been married for a year and a half now. We got our very first small animal when we were engaged. I had wanted a hamster when I lived at home with my parents, and I couldn't have one because they had a cat. So as soon as we got an apartment on our own, we got a hamster because that's how I could get one. We didn't have a cat yet, so I could have a hamster. So Jake and I got our first hamster, Nibbler. She was the cutest thing in the world. You can see a picture of me holding her. She was very easy to handle, almost right off the bat. This is our first cage that we got for her. I was so proud of myself for not getting a pet store cage. I had read some, not as much as I should have, about the kind of cages that they needed, and many people had mentioned aquariums, so I got one of those. I had bedding, I had hides, I had chews, but it wasn't big enough, and I didn't know that yet. First mistake as a small pet owner. Too small of a cage. But we grew since then. She was still adorable. She lived a great life. We did make some upgrades to her cage, and eventually we did get her a bigger one. She was very spoiled, so she was our only baby. We got married and she was our little child. So Jake made her very own little hamburger with carrots as buns and carrot fries. She lived a good life. Our next pair that we got, we still had Nibbler, but I loved, she was a Russian dwarf hamster, and I loved the Robo hamsters, the Robovorski. So we got a pair of them about 6 months after we were married, and put them in a bin cage because that was at least big enough. It was temporary till we could get a big enough aquarium tank for them. So here they are, hand taming. We were trying right off the bat to hand tame them. And Daisy was so small. We got Daisy and Rosalita, our two flower girls. We got them from the same... We got our hamsters from PetSmart. No, Petco. Petco has female, PetSmart has male. We got them from Petco. So they were in the same little tiny pet store cage together with another hamster, and we were watching them, and this stinking hamster was such a bully. Daisy was like this big. She was teeny tiny when we got her, and she was just being picked on constantly by this other hamster. It was the three of them in that cage. So we brought home Daisy and Rosalita, and we saved them from that mean hamster. And they are bonded together. They are our cute little pair. And since then, Daisy has put on a ton of weight, as you can see. She's bigger than Rosalita now. And Rosalita is still our very, very pretty, she's almost sophisticated looking hamster. Next, after that, about 6 months later, I got the bunny fever. I was looking at them just as like something cute online and started reading more about them and their care and how cute they are, and I got bunny fever. So we went to, I did tons of research because I had learned from having hamsters that you have to do tons of research. You can't rely on pet stores to educate you. So I did tons of research, and then we went through the House Rabbit Society. Thankfully we have one. It's like 25 minutes from our house. It's really close. So we took their orientation class, got our first bunny. He was so cute. And as soon as we got him home, he was so happy. This is like, his binky here is like 2 days after we've had him. And he's just like loving life. Not very much later after that, our sweet Nibbler died. Our very first girl that started it all. She was so sweet. She died of, we took her to the vet, and the vet said it was one of any of the old age sicknesses. So she was put down at the vet. She was about 1.5 years, almost 2 years old. So that's old for her breed of hamster. And she lived a very good life, and she was very happy with us. And her cage, we live in an apartment with very little storage room, so there was nowhere to put her cage after she passed. So we left it for a few days, and it was in our hallway, and we passed it constantly every day. And it was just like a reminder of our sweet little nibbler that we lost. So we went and adopted another hamster to put in her cage. So we wouldn't be reminded of Nibbler, we would be looking at this cute little hamster that we got. So we got Clover. We got another Russian dwarf hamster, and she's so pretty. She's very cute. And we're still working on taming her. We've only had her 2 months maybe, 1.5 months, 2 months. Not very long. So we're still working on taming her. She is adorable though. Every time we pass her in the hallway, she's like right at the cage if she's awake, begging for snacks, much more than the other girls are. But she's very sweet. She's still a little bit nippy, so we're working on that. If you don't have a treat in your hand and it is in her access, she's gonna nip it. But it's never hard, it's just like testing to see if you're a snack. So after that, after we got Clover, Dipper needed a friend. We knew right off the bat when we got Dipper, we considered getting a bonded pair before we even got Dipper. That was an option. We knew bunnies did well in pairs. So once we had Dipper for a while and we bonded to him, he was very comfortable in our house, we decided to get him a friend. So we went on some bunny dates at the House Rabbit Society and went through several bunnies that were available, and he finally picked Wendi. You'll see her name was Allie at the House Rabbit Society, and we renamed her. We've renamed all of our bunnies, our 2 bunnies, because they were all strays. Both of them were strays that were just found. Somebody dumped them. So we decided, since they just kind of pick a random name, they don't know what their name was when they had a home. They just pick a random name at the shelter. So we renamed them. We gave them good names. So they are now fully bonded and loving life, loving each other. And then we have our 2 bonded Robovorskis, or Robo hamsters. We've got our Clover girl, our 2 happy bunnies. So this is how our small pet family started. We got engaged, we got a hamster, and then it just went downhill from there. We just kept getting more and more and more. And now they're getting bigger with bunnies. Some people wonder why we don't have more traditional pets. You know, we're kind of older. Me and my husband, we're almost in our 30s. We're in our late 20s. And we don't have a cat or dog. We have hamsters and bunnies. As kids, both of us had cats at home, and we've had experience with dogs before. I found out, since I moved out of my parents' house and got our own place without a cat, I am so allergic to cats. I'm very, very allergic. I must have had some kind of immunity built up living with my family, and then once I left that, I don't know. I'm very allergic to cats now. When I visit my family, I get super sneezy and eyes watery and red and itchy. Very allergic to cats now. So we don't have a cat. We would like to in the future maybe have an outdoor cat. But we live in an apartment right now, so that's not an option yet. Dogs. I like other people's dogs. I don't really want to have my own dog though. I don't know. I'm gonna get hate for this, but I don't love barking dogs, and having that in my house would stress me out, I think. I don't know. We like small animals. We would like to get a fish in the future. We're thinking maybe after hamsters, we'll get a fish, or lots of fish, and pretty ones. The really exotic, bright colored, pretty ones. That would be neat. But that's why we don't have any more traditional pets. Birds scare me, so we're not going to have any birds. Also, reptiles scare me. Jake would love to have a snake, but yeah, they scare me. For now, anyway. Maybe in the future they won't. Hello, Wendi. Hi, pretty girl. So Wendi, as we bond more and more with her and see her like compared to Dipper, she's much more lovey-dovey than he is. Like, she'll let us hold her, and Dipper does not let us hold him. He's very against it. Dipper Buns, you came out too. So we pet her and she just soaks it up and loves it, and Dipper's just like, take it or leave it. Wendi loves pets. Don't you, pretty girl? Yeah, she'll let us, like, every once in a while. We don't do it a whole lot because we don't want to push our luck, but she lets us like grab her and put her on her lap on the couch, and she'll hang out as long as we pet her, but as soon as we stop, she's out of there. And neither of them jump on the couch. They can, and they have in the past, so they know that they can, but they just they have no interest in it, so they stay on the floor unless they want something. It's very rare if they get on the couch. Right, Dipper Buns? Here, take a look at these guys. There's Dipper Buns. And Wendi girl in her new setup. Pretty Wendi girl. She's so dark. I like your nose. So thanks for watching our video today. Hopefully you learned a little bit of our background and how we got started. Maybe it made you interested in adopting a pet. But check out our other videos for more pet care and tips, and like and subscribe and all that jazz. And thank you guys for watching.